I learned that personal telephone calls interfered with business.
Oh, I was so mad I could have slapped his face.
Howdy everyone, I'm John Kenific, Old Man New Art. And as usual, we're covering confidence, creativity, and career. Today we're going to focus a little bit more on confidence and tips to help artists navigate today's critic culture. There's a famous saying that lives in the world of music. It points out that talking about music is like dancing about architecture. What I love about this quote is that it very plainly clarifies the futility of translating music through words. And underneath that, all of our criticism in the end is meaningless. However, in today's critic culture, we need a little bit more to back that up. Being an artist of any type in today's world, we experience everything that comes with it. The freedom of creativity, the joy of self-expression, and of course, criticism. And it comes from everywhere, and I mean everywhere. So if you're just getting out there with your portfolio and your trust in the kindness of strangers, or if you've been in it for a while and need a refresher course on remembering what made your art special in the first place, I'd like to share some of the things that have gotten me through the negative attitudes designed to question my career choices and to realize that criticism is just all part of it. Before we get started, if you like this type of content and like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing, like the video, and hit that notification bell. So now let's get into the ways to get you through today's critic culture. Troll or awkward critic. There are levels of harsh criticism, and when you encounter someone who isn't hostile or personal about your work, but just simply doesn't get what you do, it may not hurt to ask them what they don't get, what they don't understand. Sometimes a person's initial awkward comment may just be a misstep in expressing themselves. We can't simply put everyone into the troll group because they're not fans of ours. Discussing your work with people who don't necessarily love what you do can sometimes be more refreshing and enlightening than surrounding yourself with those who love everything you do. You're having a hard time with that one, right? With today's aggressively polarized opinions, it's hard to believe that we can disagree and yet still be respectful of each other, but give it a try. You're not everyone's flavor. Yeah, that one sounded a lot better in my head. Despite the questionable title, people's tastes differ, and we have our preferences. What you're doing just may not be their aesthetic. If you love mint chocolate chip, you don't have animosity toward vanilla. And if you do, you probably have other problems, but you get where I'm going. When making art, especially if, like most of us, we want to say something original and authentic to us, it's guaranteed. And this is a good thing, but it's guaranteed that you won't be everyone's taste. My son Sam, who scores my films, has often said to me, "You really don't want everyone to like your stuff. You want to find your people, right?" I know, sometimes I have to remind myself that I'm the father and he's the son. Have a support system. Some people are fortunate to have friends in creative groups that they keep close and share their frustrations with, and who understand what they're going through like no one else. Lean on these folks. And if you don't have close relationships, that's okay. Look for things that inspire you. Books, meditation, nature, movies or music that lift your spirits and reinforce and resonate with you when you need them. These constant reminders of your artistic worth can be the very thing that gets you through the day. Understand where harsh critics are coming from. Online criticism can be particularly brutal. Thanks to the anonymity of the internet, we've all seen these comments where you're stunned by the lengths that some will go to hurt someone they don't even know. But here's something that I think of that removes the sting every time. We have to realize that what comes out of someone's mouth informs who they are, not their targets. Their targets are meaningless. This means that a troll's focus could be your art, the line at DMV, or the amount of ice in their drink. We're a non-issue. No matter how hard a verbal attack lands, what the person is saying is, "This is how I see myself and my place in the world. You and your art are the furthest thing from their minds." That being said, block, delete, and repeat. I can't recommend this enough. With total strangers to people that you know. Just because we understand their motives and hold no hostility toward them doesn't mean that we need to expose ourselves to them. Enough said. Be aware of the inside attack. We've addressed the anonymous online assassins, but what about when the attacks come from the people in your everyday life? This one's harder to navigate. Sometimes our friends and family pose the biggest threats to our self-esteem, whether deliberately or in trying to help. And it's funny that a troll can say the vilest things to us online and we find a way to deal with it. But if someone close to us gives us the slightest hesitation in their voice when they say, that's great, it's a full-on, fully clothed shower cry. So you need to take this on a person-to-person basis. When branching out, I've kept those who posed a threat to my focused, positive approach out of the loop until I was established where I wanted to be. And to be clear, I'm talking about criticism in your creative endeavors, not health or personal issues. But when it relates to keeping a positive mindset in obtaining your goals, you don't have to justify yourself to anyone. This is one place where you can be selfish. If talking to certain people about certain things takes you down 1%, don't. Find humor in all of it. I don't mean laughing as someone spits out the rudest comments you've ever heard. I mean finding the irony in everything. We live in a world where people create online petitions because the last season of Game of Thrones didn't go their way, while people are out there just trying to be treated like people. It's wacky out there, and your art is one of the bright spots shining through all that. So whatever trolls have to say, whatever I say, whatever your closest allies say, doesn't mean anything in your artistic journey. So I'm going to leave you with the words of author Will Self, who said, "A creative life cannot be sustained by approval any more than it can be destroyed by criticism." Thanks very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.